Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a long time. So yesterday I posted a video. You guys are super sweet, so kind, so responsive. Thank you so much for all your well wishes, and I'm doing better. Okay, so today we're going to address one issue. That is it. I've already done my makeup. If I wear makeup, this is my everyday makeup. I use a tinted moisturizer, blush, a little bit bronzer, and just 2 seconds on my eyes. I don't have mascara on or anything on my brows because my brows are done. And so super simple. So all we're going to be doing today is addressing the under eye area for mature skin. Normally I do this first, so we'll see how this works out. Okay. So I did go ahead and put my Charlotte Tilbury under eye cream under my eyes and above my eyes. Now I stopped my tinted moisturizer right here. So you can see the dark circles. This light may not make it look as intense, but they are I have dark circles. Just genetically I have them. I could sleep 8 hours, I have them. It doesn't really matter. I just kind of always have dark circles. So I think for mature skin, a lot of times our problem is we think to cover up the dark circles, we need to add more concealer, thicker, thicker, thicker. When really you can do, in a way it seems like a few more steps, but it's very minimal product and you should get the best results. And you also need to find a concealer that works for you, and a combination of kind of what I'm doing doesn't necessarily mean you need to use the products I'm using, because I'm using a mix of more expensive products and then drugstore products. So I'm gonna show y'all some options and then tell y'all some other options. So I went ahead and set my moisturizer in because I do want that to sit. You want your moisturizer to feel kind of tacky and to set under your eyes. You do not want it, like if you put your moisturizer on and then instantly put concealer on, it just gets runny and you kind of defeat the whole purpose. All right, so my moisturizer set in, so you need to always do that first. And then I'm gonna go in with this Milk Beauty. It's like a caffeine stick. A lot of times I'll put this in the refrigerator and make it really, really cool. So it feels really nice and it helps with like the puffiness. And it looks blue, but it comes off clear. It kind of has a little bit of an iridescent sheen to it. So I usually use my fingers because it's such a big thing. And then you just kind of dab. And remember, your under eye is very, very sensitive. So just dab it, don't rub it. This has caffeine. And there are a lot of products out there. There's a new one by Becca that I really want to try. It's blue. I can't even think what it's called right now. But I haven't tried it yet. Just because I have so many kind of products like this, I'm like, well, I don't really need it, but I do want to try it because I hear great things about it. So after you do your under eye, you press this in and you can already see that it like is brightening. The caffeine kind of wakes your under eye up. And it also is sort of like a primer. Now, another good step would be to use a primer for under the eyes. I personally do not have a primer because y'all know I don't really use a lot of primer anywhere on my face, even though I use it on my clients. But a really light primer will go a long ways. It really will go a long ways. So you probably do need a primer. So what I'm gonna do first, okay, so I'm gonna show you a couple things. This is super cheap, but I use it all the time on my clients. It's just the Ulta Color Correct Concealer Palette. There goes the brush. But it has yellow, wait, let me see if I can get it to, you can't really tell unless I'm far away. It has yellow, green, purple, and more of a salmon color, and then just kind of like a skin tone color. So I use these a lot in the salmon, especially, and if someone's bruised, I'll use the green, and sometimes I mix the purple, just kind of depending on what the client's needs are. Another product that I really, really love is the Becca Under Eye Brightening Concealer. It's called it's called a corrector, I'm sorry, the brightening corrector. And I'll show you how this works in just a minute. This goes a little bit, goes a long ways. So before you even do concealer, you just need to kind of prep your eyes. Now this is showing how to do as little product as possible under your eyes, because then we have a tendency with concealers to set them with powders. And a lot of times that is so drying that it almost emphasizes fine lines and wrinkles, honestly, no matter what age you are. So I'm gonna go in with this LA Pro Conceal. It's very salmon, so I'm just gonna do like a dot on my hand, if I can get it out. It's like, I mean, you don't even need that much. And then I'm gonna go in just with a Morphe brush, just a straight brush, and I'm just gonna go where the color is the worst. So basically, I'm looking in my mirror, hang on, right here. And sort of like on the outer parts of my eye. Now this is not something I do every day, I have to admit. I should, but I don't. But I'm just trying to give you tips on what you can do to make your under eyes look better, get rid of the dark circles without using as much product. All right, so now I'm gonna press that in with my finger. This color is very orange. It's kind of hard because I already had foundation on. That's why you want your eyes to be very moisturized. So the salmon and these colors sort of get rid of the dark. Don't worry about that showing because the orange color showing because that will be covered up with your concealer and your brightener in just a second. But what it does is it cancels out the darkness. If you don't have something like this, I've used like a matte red lipstick before. I've used a coral matte lipstick before. I'm just trying to rub that in with my finger. I'm trying to go lightly. This is a little bit of a drying concealer. I probably wouldn't recommend this. I'd probably use my Ulta. Probably use this one. See, it's so light you can't even see it. Ooh, I'm pulling my eye. All right, so now that we have the purple concealed, like the dark circles concealed, and you can see all that. What you do next, I'm gonna go in with just a fluffy brush, and I'm gonna use this, oh shoot, I had some of that orange on. I'm gonna use this Becca Brightening. Just a little bit, go up in the corners of your eyes. Just a little bit on your brush, it goes a long ways. So you do just like little steps. And more what we're doing is just correcting the issue than adding on cakes and cakes of thick concealer, because the concealer just tends to make everything more, like, I feel like intensifies fine lines and wrinkles. So you just press this brightener in. That cancels out most of the red. And then what you need to do, and you can use, maybe I need a little bit more. You can go in, I love this brightener because it really does brighten under your concealer. And then what you need to do after this, it's kind of like a tacky feeling. You want it tacky, but not too tacky. You need to get a concealer that you don't have to set with the powder. There's a new one by Makeup Forever. I haven't tried it yet. It's their HD one that you do not have to set with the powder, and I've heard it was amazing. I think the shade range is pretty good. But today I'm gonna go in with this, my Bye Bye Under Eyes by IT Cosmetic, and I use shade medium tan because I'm pretty dark. It's really thick, and I feel like sometimes I do need to set this, but you don't have to. It says you're not supposed to. So then I just kind of dab on little bits like that. And I think the warmth of my finger, the warmth of my face absorbs it, brightens it. Pull it up. Make sure you just blend it in really nicely, because I'm not going to edit this video by shortening the blending process. So just blend it in. So now you have, I don't know if you can see that. Very, very, very minimal. I mean, I use like, I'm gonna show y'all if I can even show y'all. Can y'all even, it's like a dab. You hear my stomach growling. It's like a dab of concealer. But because I've already corrected my dark circles and brightened my under eyes, all I really need is to just make sure that all blends. It's a tad bit lighter than my skin tone, so it still brightens. And if you need to add more, you can. And then you don't have to set this. You're ready to go. So now all I'm gonna do when this video is over is just, I guess I'll put on a coat of mascara. And honestly though, sometimes I'll go out without mascara. I do have long lashes naturally, and sometimes I just don't wanna wear mascara. So that's all you do. I don't have to set this. So that just brightened up everything anything and barely any, sorry, my hair's crazy, barely any product on my face. I know it's a few steps, but there's barely any product. Like if you look in the mirror, or if I could really zoom this up and you guys could really see it, there you can still see through my skin, and there's hardly any product. So there's nothing that's setting in any wrinkles or fine lines. It's just barely any. And just tap it. Don't smear it, just press it in. And then you're good to go. And so basically, instead of putting a ton of concealer all the way down and still just looking, and then having to set it and looking cakey, this is just a really good way of hydrating your under eyes, using a color corrector, and then just a little bit of concealer. So you don't have to do all these steps. I would recommend a really good eye cream. One preferably that is just for the eyes, not a face moisturizer. One's just for the eyes. You can put it on your crow's feet, your bunny lines, all around your eye. Let it set in while you're drinking your coffee or whenever you get ready in the morning. Give it a minute to set in. Then go in with like something like this, like a caffeine, something cool to, if you have puffs, bags under your eyes. Go in with like a color corrector if your eyes are like super dark. Press that in, barely use any. Use a brightener if you want a brightener. You don't have to use a brightener, you can skip that step, but I like the brightener. And then you're ready to go out the door. You don't need to add, sorry, I got a bump from my, in Mexico, I think it was like all the sunscreen or something. Anyway, you don't need to do a big triangle because then you have to set it and then you end up just looking cakey and everything. So I hope this video helps you guys. I hope that you enjoyed it and you learned a little something. This is definitely a great video for mature skin. So if you like it, please leave a comment. Have a great day, everybody. Happy Monday.